Right. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this beautiful day up here in the Hudson Valley. As I was just telling some of our artists, no rain, no, not too hot. It's sort of the perfect day. Welcome to another show at Emerge Gallery. This one is called In Black and White, and today we are going to be talking about taking a look at each of the pieces in the show. Welcome to this beautiful day up here in the Hudson Valley. As I was just telling some of our. All right. So we're going to take a look at each of the pieces in the show, and I'm happy to have some of the artists here to join us to talk about their own work. This is a online exclusive show through artsy.net. Artsy is a online shop for brick and mortar galleries, basically to set up shop and sell their work through the Artsy collector base, which is it's pretty strong. It's national and international. Being in a member gallery on Artsy has really allowed basically the world to see the wonderful artists that I work here with here in the Hudson Valley. So I'm pleased to do online exclusives with Artsy as well. Just wanted to tell you real quick about what we have going on at the gallery here in Saugerties. I usually have simultaneously a show going on at the gallery and on Artsy. And the show in the gallery is archived on Artsy as well, or is presented on Artsy as well. So in the gallery this month, we have my solo show. It's by Veronica Lawler. It's called Material Memory. Veronica is an artist that I had worked with for a number of years now in solo shows. In the group shows. And I had visited her last year when she was doing an artist in residency over at Woodstock Birdcliff. She was spending a couple months exploring the Hudson Valley brickyards. Not sure if you know, but Hudson Valley has a really strong history of manufacturing bricks, which basically most of New York City was created with. But they're pretty much all gone now. There are some ruins. So Veronica spent some time exploring the ruins, sketching on site there, and then turning them into abstract paintings with some collage. So on this side of the room, we have works that are inspired by the brick factories. They're broken up into furnace, nature reclaiming the land. We've got some that honor the factory workers and the factory environment themselves. And there's both sketches and the abstract works. On the other side of the room, Veronica sort of did the same thing in 2017 when they were taking down the Kosciuszko Bridge, which connects Brooklyn and Queens. Veronica lives in Queens and she works over at Pratt, so she was always going over the Kosciuszko. So she documented it while they were taking it down. Again, both through drawings and then abstracting them out. So there's a bit of a collection on this side of the room, and then there's 30 additional works from the Kosciuszko series on Artsy. Okay, so that's what we have going on at the gallery. As I was saying, we just opened up a new online show on artsy.net called Black and White. And it's basically, I sent a call out to see how artists are using black and white. There were a couple submissions where there was a little tiny pop of color, and most of them were from artists that I've worked with for a while that never, hardly ever use black and white. But the majority of all of the show is all black and white. So what I'm going to do is let's have a look at the show. We'll bring you right to the Artsy homepage. Let me share what I'm looking at. Here we go. So this is basically the Emerge Gallery page on Artsy. You see the gallery there, and then right up front are the shows that we have going on. We've got the in black and white. We've got the Material Memory, which is supplemented with another show called Deconstructing the Kosciuszko Bridge. It's an extension to what we have in the gallery. There is a show of Lowell Barr's work coming up. That's going to be an artsy exclusive. And then we also have the Crow Show. These are paintings by Geta Badea. So when you come onto the site, you'll see right up front what we have going on. If you scroll down, you can also have a look at all of the archive shows from probably the past 4 years. The great thing about being on Artsy is that people still go look at the old shows, and I still get orders from shows that were 2-3 years ago. So it's really a great vehicle to selling work and promoting some local artists. All right, so let's take a look into the black and white show, and we're going to bring them up each piece by piece. So I've got 2 pieces by Robyn Adler. Robyn, again, is one of the artists that I was telling you about, who mostly deals with color. She was challenged, and a lot of other artists were challenged to create something in just black and white. So this is called The Gathering. It's a collagraph print on paper. It was made with the same collagraph that was created for the next piece. Actually, let me bring the next piece up so we can have a look at that. So this one is called When One Door Closes. Robyn's been experimenting with printmaking. She's into her 2nd year of learning printmaking at the Woodstock School of Art. Let me just plug the Woodstock School of Art. Incredible place to learn new techniques, refine what you have going on. And they have an incredible printmaking department. So for this collagraph piece, she made the collagraph plate using only tape and different kinds of tape. Then she used the black ink first and ran it through the press, added some collage elements and oil paint to build on the depth already created with the original shapes from the tape plate. To her, the shapes in the monoprint look like doors suspended in the air coming toward the viewer, thus the name When Doors Close. So she used that same collagraph for the second piece, which is called The Gathering. It was used with the same plate. So to build depth on this, she linked the plate in black again and ran it through the press with the opposite orientation so that the same shapes would overlap each other. So those are the 2 pieces by Robyn Adler. There's, like I said, Robyn uses a lot of color, and if you wanted to see how she uses color, there's many pieces of Robyn's on the site, on the Artsy site. This is another artist that I've worked with before, Mark Allen. Mark again deals with some really wonderful color. He's got a nice balance with color, so it's interesting to see him work with black and white, which he does occasionally. Mark lives in Tivoli. This is called Cafe. It's pen, ink, and graphite. His work is a raw reflection of who he is and where he is. A composite of perception and perspective, with each piece inspired a mood, memory, or a longing. All right, now we have our first artist, Robyn Almquist. Robyn, are you here? Let's see.
I am.
You are. Let me see. Hold on one sec. Trying to juggle all of these screens. All right, Robyn, hold on. I'll get there.
I think my name is misspelled on the little window that I'm in, but.
Oh, okay. No, I'm looking for, one sec. Where is everybody? I sort of lost you on my screen here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. Robyn, I see you. Great. I'm so sorry. I lost the screen. I lost the Zoom screen for a sec. All right. So let's bring you up, and we will bring your work back up. Okay. Let's share the screen again. Robyn has 2 pieces in the show. The first one is called is Camper. Seeing it? No, hold on. There we go. All right. Got it. Perfect. So welcome, Robyn. Robyn's a new artist that I haven't worked with before. Robyn, where do you live?
I live in Livingston Manor.
Livingston. Okay, great. These are both lino cuts. So the first one is called Camper, and the second is a diptych called Dark Side of the Trout. And I love the story behind this one. So welcome, Robyn, and let's talk about these two. Tell us about these two lino cuts.
Great. Thanks so much for having me in the show. This one showing here is, like you said, Dark Side of the Trout. Livingston Manor does an event called the Trout Parade every June, every second Saturday of June. And the trout parades are always themed. It's kind of an art parade. It's really fun. So in 2015, the theme was Wizard of Oz. And I don't know if any of you have ever done this, but if you listen to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon in conjunction with watching The Wizard of Oz, it kind of syncs up. It's kind of like one of those, stoner things, I guess. And I'm not sure who discovered this phenomenon. So the trout is watching The Wizard of Oz while listening to The Dark Side of the Moon. And this is probably one of the largest lino cuts I've ever made. I've done a few 18 by 24s, which is what the print with the trout is, but I haven't ever done one larger than that. So this was a fun piece to do.
And what about the second one?
And so the camper, this camper actually sits in my backyard and has been the source of inspiration for many pieces. And I've often taken this camper and done collages with it, where I've painted backgrounds. I've done it out west with buttes. I've done it with starry nights. I've done it with.
Thank you. I try to get better.
Oh,
abduction.
What?
Sorry, guys. Okay, Rob, I'm sorry, Robyn.
That's okay.
I think someone's unmuted. All right, great. Sorry, Robyn, go ahead.
No, that's okay. So, so this was the starting point of this camper series that I've done, and it's just, I think campers are such like the American dream in such a way. Like if you've ever read Travels with Charlie, or I don't know, I think everybody wants to get in a camper and leave.
I absolutely do. I'm a camper myself. I'm mostly tent camping. But this is, I would love to have a camper like this. This looks like like a classic camper.
Yeah, it's a 1966 Shasta. Nice.
Excellent. Is this mostly what you do, lino cuts, Robyn?
I do a lot of lino cuts. I'm also a painter and an illustrator, and I often combine the three mediums together. I did an exhibition in Narrowsburg at the Delaware Valley Arts Alliance early in the year, where I hand printed wallpaper with lino cuts, and then I had paintings on top of the lino cuts that sort of corresponded with the themes in the wallpaper. So yeah, so I mean, I think I made my first lino cut when I was 12, so I've been doing it a long time.
Well, these are fantastic. I'm really pleased to have them. I mean, they fit just so perfectly. Thank you so much, Robyn. It was good to see you, and a pleasure to exhibit your work.
Yeah, thanks so much for including me.
Absolutely, you got it. Thank you. Okay, Sybil. Sybil Archibald. I've known Sybil lives in New Jersey, and I've known Sybil's work from New Jersey. I used to run a gallery in Red Bank and Montclair, and then Westfield. And I've always been an admirer of Sybil's work. So I'm happy to have her here. And Sybil has two pieces in the show, which are part of a series. So I will bring on up Sybil and take it away. Hi, Sybil. Welcome. Oh, I'm sorry, you're mute. I muted. You have to unmute yourself. There you go. Perfect.
Thanks for having me again in the show.
Absolutely.
So happy to be part of it. I love working in black and white. Black and white is actually like an integral part of my process. every so often I will go on a color fast, and I will only do black and white because I feel like there's a lot more considerations when you're working in color, and sometimes the work becomes more cerebral. And when I go into black and white, I'm able to be a lot more emotional and immediate and use it as a reset. So these two pieces are part of early on in my Monotype of the Day series, where I did 900 monotypes, one each day for 900 days without ever missing a day. And they were kind of like a daily journal for me. So each of the monotypes has a couple of layers of meaning. There is a layer that is sort of like a personal layer about what's going on in my life at the time. And then there's a more universal symbolic layer. And so these two pieces were made at a time when I was having a lot of trouble swallowing, and I was on a liquid diet for about 2 years. So they have a lot to do with the struggle that I was going through at that time. And in addition, all of my work is about creativity and how creativity comes into the world, and how the process of interacting with creativity transforms and heals the artist. So a lot of this has the creative energy coming in, flowing out. You see the birds on this image are always a symbol in my work of creativity coming into the world. The snake is sort of has to do with the struggle that I was having and the danger to the creative process that was going on when I was so weak from not being able to eat.
Is there a place we can go to see the whole series? Do you
Sure.
have it listed anywhere?
Yeah, my website is Sybil Archibald Art. It's SYBIL Archibald ARCHIBALD art.com. And I've actually written a book about the entire process, and that book is called The Inner Life of the Artist, and it's going to be available starting in October. So if you're interested in that, there's a place to sign up for information on my site.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sybil. I mean, these are really stunning. I'm really pleased to have them in the show, and it's good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Hope to see some more soon. Okay, we have a piece by Debbie Auer Breitbart. Debbie again works with mostly color, so this was a little bit of a change for her. This is part of her classic TV series, and it's Morticia and Gomez from the 60s show All in the Family, Addams Family. Geta, are you here? I think you were joining us. You are, great, fantastic. Let me bring you up. You have to unmute yourself. Good to see you. It's been a while. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. Unfortunately, I can't do it from my end. There you go. Great.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Welcome.
Nice to be here again, and thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Another person who works mostly in color. So this is a nice change to see.
Yeah, it's 99% I work in color.
Yep.
I have two, actually, I could say I have two triggers. When I work in color, usually it's when I feel down or let's say, I would not say depressed, but melancholic. And I tend to work in color. However, the other trigger, which is, it shows because I don't have too much black and white, when I am upset or I am angry, something happened, and that's when I really tend to work just in black and white. And this was one of these, situations, and it just fit with our request. Black and white, I guess.
It's beautiful. It has a lot of your movements and flow in it too. that I
Well, yes,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I tend to also create lots of figuration, and that's most of my artworks. And if you take a deeper look, you still could see maybe faces or figures in this very abstract artwork. How I created this piece, and I usually tend to work on a heavy style. I use all kinds of media, all kinds of gessos and oil and acrylics, but I also like to incorporate unconventional media. And in this situation, I added stainless steel mesh wire. I have some gauze. I have several all kinds of fibers that I incorporated, and everything gets done with palette knives and heavy working. I tend to create throughout several months, layers and layers. I keep on adding. And the other thing that I always work on raw materials, unprimed cotton or unprimed linen.
Do I have permission to share this with my friends?
Sure.
And this is actually the first piece on a series that I am working on, and it's called Lemonade. And you might wonder why it's called Lemonade. Let's say that I have thrown several lemons. Life has thrown several lemons at me, so to say. And I'm trying to make lemonade out of it. And the lemonade is through creating pieces of artwork, if that makes any sense.
Now it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
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 Well, this is really wonderful. Thank you. It's good to see you again and to have it in the show.
Thank you as well.
All right. Hope you're well. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Caesar. Nope. Okay. This is a new artist for the gallery. I had included two of Caesar's pieces in the last show, which would have fit perfectly in this show. It was a very textual black piece, an abstract piece. It was for the abstract show. So this piece is called The Ring. Caesar's self-taught contemporary artist living in Hudson Valley. He creates mixed media collages, paper cuts, and anything else that inspires him from pop culture. He tends to get bored quickly, so he challenges himself to try new techniques, mediums, and materials. I have another piece from Harriet Foreman Barrett. Harriet does not work with black and white, and this is probably as close to black and white as she will get. So I saw this as a challenge to Harriet and accepted it, even though there was just a little bit of color. This is as close to black and white as I ever get, as I said, and I always see that as colorless, and yes, you're talking about positive and negative spaces. In this case, my closest to black is deep blue and white with a splash of color to further shadow the to further enhance the shadows. Christina Batch-Lee. This is Christina. Just saw Christina. Christina lives in Kingston. This is called Winnacoma. It's a monoprint. She's very interested in the craft of painting and want her process to be visible, inviting the viewer to follow along and recognize elements that dissolve in and out of abstraction. This is a lot more figurative than Christina usually does. Again, Christina is very good with color. So this is a challenge for her, or a change for her also. Ed Berkey's, this is called Stacked Decks. Ed, again, is a wonderful abstract artist, landscape artist who works mostly with color. So this was a challenge for Ed. Natalie Baburka. Natalie, are you here? No. Natalie, this works mostly with, as I know her to work with, mostly mixed media. This one is graphite, acrylic, walnut ink, a couple charcoals and pastels. It's the final piece in a series that speaks to coming to terms with a different paradigm and searching for a way of being stable in an unstable world, which people seem to usually respond to Black when they're, you know, talking about an unstable world or instability. Have two pieces from Vian Borcher. This is called Monochromatic Forest. And the second piece is called Trees by a Dark Wall. Two pieces from Anaïs Contre. Contres? Contre. Are you here, Anaïs? Let's see. No. Anaïs lives in Middleton, New York. The background is fashion. Her background in fashion naturally led her to here, where she's free to create whatever she can dream of with no rules, no meetings, no opinions, just her. So this is the first piece called Inktober Day. The second piece is 365 challenge. This is day 18. Two photographs from Celine Cardwell, who does a lot of abstract, but collage, but also photographs. This is Fifth, which is Fifth Avenue, New York. And then the second piece is called Lost Shadow. I'm always drawn to shadows, so I'm this one drew me right in. Two pieces from Judy Stanger. Judy, are you here? Nope. Okay. Judy is a wonderful pastel artist over in Stone Ridge, who again uses a lot of vibrant colors. So this was a challenge for Judy as well. This is called Grocery Bag. It's charcoal and pastel. The second piece is called Catskill Smoky Mountain, which again, there's a little bit of purple in this, but mostly all black and white. And again, something very different for Judy. This is a it's an original, but it's recrafted from a very vibrant painting that Shelley Davis did. It's acrylic of a classic motel sign. It's called Motel. Nancy DeFlon is a artist who's really drawn to the ocean, especially over in Rhode Island and Cape Cod. So doing black and white for Nancy was a challenge, especially with her landscape. This is called Coastline with Receding Storm, and it's a digital photograph. Two pieces from Chuck Dorr, Charles Dorr. This is called Mother's Touch. And then the second piece is called My Old Street. Both are ink on paper. I know Chuck mostly from doing a lot of collage work. So this was a nice surprise for me when I saw this come in from Chuck. Lauren Eddy, this is called Attached. It's a photograph. Lauren lives here in Saugerties, I believe. No, Batavia. This is her daughter. Her daughter will only hold her husband's hand, by his left ring finger. So this is definitely a testament to the love of or the connection between fathers and daughters. Mary Elwin, believe it or not, this piece is an oil painting. It's called Carved Vessel, and by using no color, she had the opportunity to concentrate on the subtleties of the carved design of the pot. And I think she got it down really beautifully. Two photographs from Jeffrey Friedkin. Jeffrey lives over in Sleepy Hollow. It really connects with New York City and the surrounding area, has some really wonderful landscapes of New York City and the boroughs. This is called New York City Backstreet. The second piece is called Brooklyn Twilight Time, and Jeffrey prints all of his photographs on metal. which really pops out especially the black and white. Two pieces by Lynn Friedman. This first piece is called Vining. Lynn lives in Kingston. Vining is pen and ink. It's observing fruits and vegetables growing in a garden conservatory at an art residency in Ireland, and she was moved by the lyrical quality of the vines. The second piece by Lynn is called Spring Flowering. This is a really lovely piece. It's a free interpretation of the joys of the house in the woods. Anna Fearon. Is Anna here? No. This is a photograph. It's called Transition 2. It was a simple experiment to take a mid-autumn leaf, rid it of most of its praiseworthy attributes, which is color, and note how beautifully and visually fascinating it still is. Andrea. Andrea, you here? Andrea G.R. Putu? No? Okay. Andrea is a wonderful fiber artist that makes these really lovely fabric pieces. This is called Tuxedo Cat. It's a small piece. It's 7 by 5. Two pieces by Christine Graff. This piece is called Shadowed Memories. Christine lives in New York. It's a mixed media. It's got negatives, paper, vintage book, and a paint. It's a reflection of all the layers of memory we have and how it changes with each remembrance. She used old photographic negatives of a woman, which reminded her of a true visual expression of hidden memories. The second piece by Christina is called The Marks Left Behind. This is a mixed media piece as well. It's about language, where letters and words have a beauty in the context of books, handwriting, and on the screen, all black and white. A digital photograph by Gwyneth Green. This piece is called Hypnotic, and it certainly is hypnotic. Christine, you are here. I have you.
I am.
Oh, great. Excellent. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Christine has two pieces in the show. This is called Lower Manhattan, and the second piece is called Fireworks. Welcome back, Christine. Christine lives
Thank you.
up in Vermont. Once down in this area, but now a Vermonter. Good to see you. Any preference on which one you want to talk about?
Well, since this one's up, I'll talk about this one, Fireworks.
Great.
And I guess I really have almost the same thing to say about both of them. I'm usually very colorful, very saturated colors. I love color. I'm in love with color. But every now and then, I think like black and white is just really very, it's stark and very beautiful, and it just shows the form so well rather than adornment. And I think that's lovely. And this was color. There is a color version of it, but I think it's so compelling in black and white to see the fireworks this way and the smoke, you know. And the other one, well, I think the buildings of Lower Manhattan, I think the lines, the rectangles, I think that the black and white also sets them off really well. You can see again the form, the bare bones, rather than the color sort of adorns it. And in this case, I think it brings out the cityness of the city in a certain way.
I agree. I think the shapes and the lines especially, I mean, are really lovely in this. Like in this area over here by the shadows, the way that the shadows are creating lines on there. Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful. This is maybe a companion piece to the piece that sold in the landscape show at the last.
Yeah, part of my city. I have a lot of city photos actually. And yes, that one was the Chrysler Building. This one's the Freedom Tower. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, great to see you again, Christine.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Always a pleasure. two pieces by Allie Herman. Allie is an artist living in Troy, New York. This first piece is called Cosmic Plaque, and the second piece is called Winter's Harvest. There is the yellow in there is sort of yellowed paper. Two beautiful, these are monotypes by Martha Hill. This first piece is called Lasting Light. The second piece is called Mountains That Hold Me, The Mountains That Hold Me. I believe Martha works over at the Woodstock School of Art as well, in the printmaking center. Patricia Hough, are you here? You are here, great. Excellent. Good to see you again. I know you were just in the gallery the other day.
Yes. It was so nice to see the exhibit up on the walls. I am a fairly recent newcomer to the area. I moved from Brooklyn to Mount Trimble a couple of years ago.
Welcome.
And I'm actually working just in black and white, although I did just finish a colograph class at the Woodstock School of Art, and at the urging of the instructor, I did use some color, some pink, which was fun. But I think I'm just really interested in what the bare bones of the work, what that is. I painted, came to New York City, painted in, Tribeca, and was part of the art scene in the early 80s. And then eventually I moved on to black and white photography and then color photography. And I retired up here. And my dream was to get a studio again, a painting studio. And so I have one now. And I'm making a lot of work. But it's sort of like, I'm like getting back in touch with, I guess, my painting self sensibility. And black and white is just easier for me right now. And there is this series of paintings I started a couple of years ago when I first started working in the studio. I noticed a certain type of light in one of my graphite drawings. And, and like that set the whole thing off. It's like that light, I just loved that light. And I feel like it's not something I can go after directly. Like I can't say, oh, okay, I'm now going to paint that light. Because the light is born out of, I think, just my basic touch, my sensibility. Which is, I think, for all artists, it's just sort of, that's just something that I just want to embrace. And I'm very, very abstract. This one's called The Rock Climber, but I named it several months after I painted it. I mean, I wasn't trying to make a rock climber. I just am very grateful to have a studio again, and I'm grateful that, you've accepted these works into the show. So I'm, just really kind of setting down roots here.
Patricia, did you say that you're working at the print shop over at School of Art?
Yes.
You are wonderful, because I mean, I'm sure
Hello,
that.
Robyn. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that what the results over there are probably just wonderful. What you can do over there, especially with the black and white, and what you have, on oil, would translate itself really well to printmaking.
Yeah, it's
I'd love to see those.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Ditto.
Okay. Two pieces by Yoko Aizu. This is a new artist for the gallery. The Hudson Valley has really, and Saugerties in particular, has really become a haven for artists the last couple of years. So I'm so pleased to see so many really talented artists moving up to the area. Now, I don't know Yoko. Yoko lives in Woodstock. This is called, this first piece is called The Siren. It's acrylics, paper, gold leaf on cold press. As a second generation Japanese American, her work is rooted in finding a way to bridge the gaps between her cultures, countries, and the languages, and creating a place of belonging. The foundation of her work begins with acrylics, applying different textures and marks to build shapes and depth. She then incorporates specialty papers and gold leaf to add further dimension, layering, and contrast. Both of them have a small, tiny pop of color. I really like this little wisp of gold here. So though she straddles the line between the Japanese roots and American upbringing, her style and approach are inherently influenced by her family's heritage. While some decisions are deliberate, many are a natural result of the experiences, traditions, and the environments ingrained in her. And as much as her work is grounded in the complexity of identity and inhabiting the space between cultures, she hopes that each piece also exudes the joy and serenity she feels while painting it. Ellen Jurett Epstein. This is a fiber-based piece. Ellen lives over in Germantown. This is called Fold Mountain. It's needle felting over a yarn armature. Her work begins, her work has been described as some otherworldly mashup of quilts and paintings and sculpture and something else altogether. That something else is what interests her. The practice has developed through experimentation with a variety of process and materials, felt, foil, and papers. Two pieces by Shoshana Kertész. Shoshana is an artist that I knew that lives in New Jersey, and I'm happy to exhibit some of her work up here at the gallery in Saugerties. This is a really lovely piece called Avenue. The second piece is called Oculus. Beautiful. Deborah Block Kroll. Deborah is another artist that I haven't really worked with before. I'm really pleased to work with her though. Deborah lives in New Jersey. This is called Stormy. It's acrylic on canvas. All right. I'm going to move on to another screen, so you're going to see my big face for a few minutes. Okay. Let's bring up this second piece here. You see my shirt matches the art? That was intentional. I was going to wear black, but I wear black every day, so just wanted to put a little more color in. Oh. Okay. Do you see artwork in front of you? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I'm sharing the right screen. This is a piece by Piper Levine. Piper is an artist that a young artist that I was connected with through her father, Philip Levine, who is the poetry editor at Chronogram magazine and had also participated in my art and poetry show over in April. And Piper had done a wonderful piece for that show, and she did this piece as well. This is called
Robert.
Yes.
I'm not seeing the image. I'm seeing your spreadsheet.
You're not. Oh, you are. Oh, sorry. Don't want that. Okay. That's why I was wondering. I thought for some reason I was sharing the wrong screen. Okay.
There you go. That's it.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. Well, now you know my secret. I'm reading everything. So this is Piper Levine's piece called Nocturnal. Barbara, are you here, Barbara?
Barbara can't make it, but I'm here. I'm her husband, Richard.
Excellent, Rich. So this is Barbara Tipper Levy. Barbara lives right here in Saugerties, and this is called Beach Grasses. It's charcoal, and it's 6x12. And then Rich, here we are. Rich, who's Barbara's husband, is here to join us to talk about Steffia. And you know, I keep bringing up Woodstock School of Art. Rich is an active member, or not a member, but a student at the Woodstock School of Art. And I'm always really enjoying what I'm seeing, and I especially like this piece. I'm so drawn to sort of the Weimar, area in Germany, and this just sort of reminds me of that. Takes me right over there. So Rich, tell us about Stefia.
Well, thank you for having me in the show. This is from sketch class at Woodstock School of Art. I believe it was a 40-minute sketch. I usually start with line drawings. This is another technique which I and many other artists use, where the black background is put on with charcoal and the form is etched out with an eraser, and then the line drawing is added. And right now, I'm at a point where I'm trying to get a likeness or resemblance to the model. And I think this was, like I said, a 40-minute composition. And I don't know if this is cheeky, but this is the same model, a 3-hour pose. Again, another black and white version of her. She's really an interesting model. She has a very interesting figure and face. And I think apropos to what Robert said, you can get a lot of expressive type artwork based on her. And I've noticed that in the class from other people as well.
Was what we see here the complete 40 minutes, or did you spend some time with it after?
This is, I would say this is the complete 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a whole lot afterwards. For beginners, anybody who's interested in how it's done, I concentrate on the face and hands, but having said that, I'm also concentrating on the gesture, proportions, everything. And it's like playing golf. I tell people, if you hit a good shot, you want to follow it down the fairway. So that's kind of how this started.
Nice. That's wonderful. I'm really pleased to have it in here. I like how she's suspended. So, just an air like that. Rich, as I said, has been, really working hard at the School of Art, and just, coming out with some really wonderful work, both in figurative work, some landscape work. So there's a number of pieces up on Artsy of Rich's if you want to have a look at those. But this one especially, I'm really drawn to. I'm really pleased to have it here, Rich. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yvette Lewis. Yvette is another artist who I don't really remember much of her working in black and white. She works a lot with some really delicate pastel colors, but this is certainly representative of the kind of subject matter that she works with. A lot of times it's pods. Her work is very feminine and just really gorgeous, and I love how it translates into the black and white here. This is an etching. It's 16 by 12. Two pieces by another new artist, Ingrid Lisowski. Ingrid lives over in High Falls. This is called Natural Continuum. It's acrylic and ink on canvas. In her painting, she explores strata of visual memories and impressions. She uses a process that alternates between overpainting, layering, adding, and removing, leaving chatter marks of post and present. This is the first piece, and then this second piece is called Message to Self, and I really like this whole element over here. Three pieces by Linda Lynton. Linda, are you here?
Yes, I am here. I'm
Excellent.
here.
Great. Oh, you look so.
Right.
You look great. You look well rested up in Vermont there. It looks sunny by you too.
Oh, I know. Isn't it?
Linda's a wonderful artist that I've worked with for a while now, since the gallery opened in Woodstock, but she recently moved up to Vermont. But I'm really happy to continue to exhibit her work. I did a show for an online show for Linda that's up if you'd like to have a look at it. It's called what is it called? Sawkill Journey Through a River. And what Linda did was spent about a year exploring the Sawkill River from the very top until where it empties out into the Hudson, and met a lot of people, saw a lot of really wonderful sights, and created some beautiful art, both in oil and some drawings. So I don't want to take up your time. We've got 3 pieces here, all black and white and all ink. So Linda, tell us about them. Welcome.
Okay, right, thanks. Well, I did a series over the past 2 years, maybe 3 years, starting with the pandemic. I started doing pieces, got interested in rock faces, like ravines, cliff faces, quarry faces, things like that. And I did a series of paintings and also a series of pen and ink drawings. And these are 3 of the pen and ink drawings that are part of the series. This one here is actually a cut, a railway siding cut. If you go down the rail trail by the Ashokan Reservoir, it's part of the cutting where the railway line just cut through the rocks. And it was really interesting because they formed columns. However, the rocks are, evolved, got these columns, and then of course on the left-hand side you start seeing the moss and other vegetation growing. But it was an interesting exercise doing these. This was a siding on a road where they cut through. But what I found interesting is when you're doing it in black and white pen and ink, basically, trying to convey the rock faces. It's an interesting process. It's almost abstract, even though what you're looking at isn't. And this here is the big falls. What are they? The Catskill Falls. It's interesting when you're doing pen and ink to try to indicate the layers of rock.
Well, you've got that layering in there beautifully.
Yeah.
The dimension is really, really nicely represented. I know a lot of times you make your own ink. Is this ink that you made yourself?
I don't make my own. This is all India ink.
It is, okay.
And the gray is I just diluted it.
Okay, great.
These are pure ink. There's nothing else in there. But as you know, like so many of the artists who primarily use color, it's quite a challenge doing something in black and white sometimes.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see your work in black and white too, because even just some of the fine details it's very different than what I'm used to with your work. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's a totally different. It's a different mindset.
Yes.
But yeah.
I like it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Linda. I encourage folks to go have a look.
You're going to come up. You haven't been up yet.
Yes, I know. Yes, I will come. I promise.
Yeah. I know.
I encourage people to go and have a look at Linda's show, Sawkill River. There's also some video where she talks about the work and the whole process. It was a fascinating project, and I think the results are beautiful.
Yeah.
And these are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Linda.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
This is Deborah Morris Maris. Deborah, I've had some of Deborah's work in some previous shows, and she's had a dark, she has a little bit of a dark side. I know she likes to work with a lot of darker colors. This is called Ranunculus, and this is a charcoal. It's charcoal on paper. I love drawing with charcoal, and it makes part of make it part of her studio practice. It's a more straightforward than painting, more automatic. She'd like to learn how to paint in a similar manner. It's a beauty. Geraldine Mason, this is called Lion. It's a photograph. Geraldine lives here in Saugerties. This lion guards an old schoolhouse from the 1800s. She particularly enjoys photographing nature and objects that are showing age and disintegration. Lynn. Real happy to have 2 pieces by Lynn. Lynn is a Saugerties native. but living in Pennsylvania now, I believe.
Yep.
Yes. So I have two pieces from Lynn. The colors in here, is this, no, this color here is a reflection, right, Lynn?
Yep.
Okay, great. So Lynn does some really wonderful mixed media work with lots of different materials and has a lot of fun doing it. Another artist that uses some strong, bold colors and really wonderful combinations. So it's really exciting to see you just strip it down to black and white.
And I try and keep it just black and white.
Yes, I know.
The grays.
Yep. But you still have all that dimension that you create with color in this as well. So yeah, tell us about your process and about these two pieces.
Okay, well, this one is called Scribble. And if you look in the center part, not only does it say Scribble there, but you'll see Scribble. That's actually stuff that I wrote down on like a nearby newspaper, or to get a marker going, or, you know, how you always just kind of scribble on stuff. So I said, why not? Here's a phone number. It's backwards, but yeah. And there's other stuff in here. There's washi paper that I use. There's some where you see a little color. If you go down a little bit, right there where underneath those two birds, where you see that bluish kind of color, that is actually a reflection of what I had on, because that is actually chrome tape that I cut. So it's like
I meant
mirror.
to mention. I wanted to mention that before. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like mirror. And I made some prints using the vegetable at the top here next to the lotus. That was actually part of the bag that some oranges came in, and I printed with that, and then I actually included that as well. You know, so it's like, I'll put anything in a collage. I've actually even used Werther's candy wrappers.
And you use a sort of like this color on the left is a reflection as well, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that
Now, you use
this
some kind
picture's
of,
with glass.
You use a resin over your work, don't you? Or
yeah, I usually put there isn't one on this though, however, but I
Okay.
think I actually will put it on because it's not on a real heavy grade paper.
Hmm.
You know, so I would like to give it a little more strength, so I might, but I am, you know, this one I'm offering matted and framed.
Yeah.
So but yeah, if you slide, you can actually see some pictures without the reflection in it.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, I need to hold on. I'm going to get to that.
You had it right next to this.
Yeah.
On the show. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, so you can see. This one doesn't, like, I actually use some silver paint in it, where the white scribble is kind of down by the bottom over my name. There's some silver paint in there, but other than that, again, just black and white, but there's some matte, thicker black paint that's kind of up on the right-hand side. And, you know, these photos, it's so hard to get anything that you can really take a bite out of and get, you know, because I like doing things that reflect light, you know, like I'll hang them up and they'll look different in the morning than it does in the evening, you know, different parts sparkle, or, and my art is fun, you know, I go into it to have fun. There's no like deep meaning other than, you know, I just want to chill out and create, you know.
Excellent. I like that. Well, you certainly still have the playfulness,
Yes.
you know, in these black and white pieces too. You know, it's not lacking anything for lack of color. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I usually use a lot of color.
Well,
I
these
actually
are wonderful.
find these a little more difficult to do than the ones with the color, you know, because of value. You know,
Yeah.
with black and white, there isn't much of a value change, whereas, you know, like red and green, even though they're the same value, a totally different, you know. Well, I'm losing my words here, Robert.
That's okay. I'm really pleased to have them. They fit perfect in the show. And I'd love to see more.
Well, I got some stuff for the next show. You know that.
Okay. Oh yeah, the collage show. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. I did want to mention I do have a call out now for some collage show. That's going to be the next show at the gallery. There's a collage. collage show. And again, and it's with all of my shows, I try to get all different ways that artists are using the medium. So, photography, sculpture, anything, painting, fiber art, as long as there's a collage element in the piece, it doesn't.
You know, I got all kinds of specialty papers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I got some.
I look forward to seeing what you send over.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Lynn. Good to see you. Okay. Katherine McGrane, this is called Black Marble. I don't think Katherine's here. No.
Yes, I am.
You are. Great. Excellent.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you. Love this piece.
Thank you so much. This
is
piece
it poured?
is
It's poured?
it's an acrylic pour
Yeah.
on canvas, and it's coated in resin epoxy to give it more of a high gloss finish to make it appear more like black marble. Was the idea behind it. And my inspiration is half from the beauty of the Hudson Valley. I'm a lifelong Kingston resident. And the other half I get from my daily struggles with multiple chronic illnesses that affect my nervous system. So much in life is just not black and white. And it's so many ups and downs and curves and swirls. And I felt like this piece really brought that out and showed that there's so many in-betweens to black and white.
Do you usually use color in your work, or is this something new for you, just keeping it black and white?
I normally do use color. This was just more of an experiment for me, and I was really pleased with the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe I'll do a little more black and white experimenting now.
Great. Nice. Would be nice too is black and one color.
Yes.
One
yes.
other color. Yeah. Fantastic. I'd love to see more.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's great to have you in the show, Katherine. Thank you for joining us too today.
Thank you.
Noah McGrath. Noah, this first time that Noah's been in the gallery, in a show with the gallery also. This is Noah lives in Woodstock. I've seen, I know Noah's work from Instagram. I know that Noah also is another artist that does a lot of work over at the Woodstock School of Art. So I was surprised to see a photograph come in by Noah, which I see mostly his abstract work. So this is called What's Hidden in Hudson, and it is traditional photography. This was taken with a Minolta Highmatic AF2 and the classic Kodak Tri-X film. I used to do photography myself and spent a lot of time in the darkroom, and this sort of just warms my heart. Not many people get in the darkroom anymore, or use traditional film. So it was a real pleasure to exhibit this as well. And no, unless I'm thinking of the wrong person, I could have swore that most of the work I know of yours is abstract work. That might be new though. Okay, Ellen McKay. Ellen is a really wonderful abstract artist. She, if you're ever a little stuck and want to loosen up and learn different creative techniques to really just let yourself go, Ellen's a person to go to. She's got some fantastic classes going on. She has some real great energy in her work. She's a wonderful instructor. But again, Ellen's another artist that uses color, so I was really, really surprised and pleased to see this come in. This is called Rainstorms. And the medium on this is it's a little bit of everything. It's Chinese ink, acrylic, soft pastels, oil pastels, Conti, charcoal, and it's on rice paper. Really, really pleased to have these two beautiful pieces by Hadass Melamed. This first piece is called Defined Mortality. And it is a a really beautiful ink on paper piece. The second is called I Am Here. And being a cat lover myself, I was immediately drawn to this. And I have a black cat named George. So, you know, this is right up my alley. This is called I Am Here. This is ink on paper as well. Wilma Miller. This is a lovely little piece, smaller piece. It is 8 by 8, I believe. 12 by 12. Wilma lives in Woodstock, a wonderful abstract artist, does a lot of abstracted landscape. So this is actually probably a abstract landscape as well. It's called The Lone Stone. It's acrylic on canvas. It's a painting of just one of the many ancient stones still standing on the Scottish island of Orkney. So many artists are inspired by Ireland. Wayne Montecalvo. Wayne, are you here? No. Wayne is another artist, another new artist for the gallery. I did not know of Wayne's work until just recently, and I'm glad that that he got in touch. Wayne lives in Rosendale, New York. This piece here is called The Road. It's mixed media. It's Sharpie, pencil, acrylic, India ink, monoprint, Japanese paper, and it's layered on glass. This second piece by Wayne is called Alone. And again, this one as well is multimedia that is layered on glass. Will Nixon. Perfect timing, Will Nixon. Will Nixon, I'm just bringing your pieces up when you came into the room. Are you here? No.
Hold on.
Okay, you're perfect timing, Will. I'm telling you, this is and you're calling from the car.
I am.
What a guy. Happy to say hi to Will Nixon. Will's a wonderful photographer, painter, and I'm really surprised that none of those black and white pieces that we spent an hour looking at, a couple weeks ago aren't in this. But I'm always happy to have your photography. We've got 2 photographs by Will Nixon. This is a trippy escalator one, and then second one is called Fire Hydrant. So welcome, Will.
Yeah.
Poet extraordinaire. Talk to us, Will. You there?
Okay. Well, fire hydrants. I actually want to write a short story called Spunky the Fire Hydrant of the Inwood Hill Forest. And this was actually down at Kingston Point Park, and I saw this fire hydrant, and I thought, this looks like the fire hydrant I want to write a story about. So, and the lighting is just done on my phone, effects that I have on the phone. So there it is. They look so much like people to me, fire hydrants.
And they each have their own personality.
They do.
Yep. What about this trippy escalator one? This is pretty cool.
Yeah, this again is actually, I was at the Cleveland Museum of Art, and I don't know why I take pictures of escalators, but I think partly because I thought maybe I could do something with the lighting effects. And that's what, again, this is lighting effects on my phone that I'm able to do very easily.
Nice. You ever pick up your, most of the photography you do is on a camera phone or a phone
That's
camera?
all I know. I wouldn't know how to use a camera, unlike you and older people who actually know this field. I don't. I just have used the phone the whole time.
Hey, I mean, since they invented the phone and the camera keeps getting better and better, I haven't picked up my, regular camera, and I can't tell you the last time. I probably need a refresher course. Yep. Well, hey, it was great to see you. I'm glad you were able to join us. Thanks for, taking time out in the middle of your travels.
Okay. Thanks, Robert.
You got it. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Perfect timing. Jacqueline Oster. Jacqueline is a watercolor artist. Jacqueline just had a show over in, where did she have it? So, what did I ask? Any case, as I said, it's Jacqueline's a watercolor artist. Jacqueline lives in West Hurley. This is called Devil's Rope. It's watercolor and some mixed media. The second piece and the mixed media is barbed wire that you can see here. There you go. The real deal. The second piece is called High Life. And, you know, it's, I got to say, I mean, I've either worn Converse high tops or Doc Martens pretty much my whole life. And now that I'm in my later 50s, neither shoe provides the support that I need anymore. So it's a shame. And yeah, I was this watercolor piece called The High Life brought back some really wonderful memories. So those are two pieces by Jacqueline Oster. Anne-Marie Plass. Anne-Marie, are you here? Nope. Okay. I've had a few pieces of Anne-Marie's in shows before. This is a longer piece called Summer Inspiration. Summer Inspiration is 18 by 20. It's acrylic, ink, charcoal, and collage. And there's some modeling paste on there as well. The second piece is called Hidden City. It's a smaller piece. Hidden City is 20 by 20. Or not that much smaller. And Anne-Marie lives in South Caro, here, a little north of Saugerties. Ann Porter. Ann Porter is another artist that I haven't really worked with before. This is a really wonderful still life called Coffee and Notions. And Coffee and Notions is oil. It's an 8 by 10. It's a small piece. The second piece is called Garlic and Oils. This is acrylic as well. I'm sorry, this is oil as well. Another small piece, 6 by 8. And Anne lives in Woodstock. Eileen Power. I've exhibited a number of Eileen's pieces in the past and still continue to. This is an abstract piece called Audacious. It's India ink on watercolor paper. It's fairly large. It's 30 by 22. How are you? This is called The Divine Feminine, also by Eileen Power. The Divine Feminine is a movable colograph print. So the Divine Feminine answers the question, what would happen if I inked up a pair of panties and ran it through the etching press? So she did a series of prints with various inks on printmaking paper. This was pink ink on black printmaking paper. Or actually, I'm sorry, this is the black version. It does have a pink version. Pamela Quick. Pamela is another artist that's new to the gallery, who lives in, again, South Caro. So pleased to see that so many new artists are joining the group shows. This is called Mystic Cave. It's acrylic and tissue paper, and it was inspired by a tour through Howe Caverns. Elaine Ralston, a pastel artist who uses some really wonderful color. So this I'm sure was a challenge for Elaine, or maybe not, because her pastel is wonderful. So maybe it wasn't as much of a challenge as I thought. This is called Nightscape, and it's the Ashokan Reservoir at night. Tina Reichenbach. No, not here. Tina is an artist living over in Germantown. This is called Riverside Grasses. It's a photo. It's a gelatin print. She's a Hudson Valley-based architectural conservator by trade, pursuing a photography hobby. She's using traditional film media to explore the landscape of especially the abandoned, the desolate, the industrial detritus, among other found subjects, to find art and poetry where nature and the man-made intersect. I'm always drawn to abandoned places as well. Lee Harvey Roswell. This is called Is It Luck? I know Lee for many years. I mean, I haven't seen him in many years. I met Lee when I was living in San Francisco back in the 90s. Always liked Lee's work. There was definitely an edge to it. A lot of he really dealt with a lot of social issues that always came out with his work, and a lot of pop cultural references, as this one has. So this is called Is It Luck? And it's an oil piece. Jesse Sanchez. I found this piece really interesting. Jesse is mostly an abstract artist. He does figurative work every once in a while. This is Jesse lives in Athens. This is called perspective painting. It's water-based paint on a wood panel. He's painting and creating an illusion of 3 dimensions on a flat surface. The panel has been cut to create a unique shape, but the black and white paint areas further create the illusion of a solid frame. The second piece by Jesse is called Wallet, Keys, and Paper. And this is basically a photograph that he had taken of, he just emptied his pockets and, found the design quite pleasing. 2 pieces from Andrea Scheffel. This is called The Tree Hugger. Andrea lives here in Saugerties. This is a monoprint. The second piece is called Old Overlook Road. This is acrylic. It's 9 by 12. 2 pieces by Amy Silberkleit. These are lithographs. Are you here? You here?
Yes, I'm here.
I thought so. Great. Let me pull you up. I'll find you. I'm not finding you. Wave to me if you don't mind.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't see your.
Oh.
Let me see.
Well,
I'm not seeing your video, but I can hear you.
okay. You want me to talk about it?
Yeah, if you don't, that would be great. Yes.
No, I don't mind at all.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I can't bring you up because I'm not seeing you. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So congratulations. These pieces are gorgeous. The first piece is called
Very
Down.
much. Thank you.
And the second is called Kestrel. So please tell us about them.
So they're both lithographs. I draw on lithography stones with a lithography pencil, and I always print in black ink onto paper. So I always use black and white. I might as well talk about the Kestrel first. This bird hit my house and died, so I had it long enough to draw it as a specimen. I mounted it on a board and lit it, and then drew exactly what I saw. So it is the actual size of the bird, and the feathers are in all the right positions. It took me a really long time to decide how to position the bird. And then once it came to drawing, it takes me about 2 to 3 weeks to draw on the stone before I print it. The pattern was perfect for a lithograph on this bird. And this is a male kestrel, and the back of it is in like a rufous color and slate gray, and the front is actually black and white, just like that, with a slight amount of brown toning. So it seemed like the contrast in the pattern of the feathers was perfect to print in black ink on white paper.
Amy, you etch these into stone first, correct? Is that right? How's your process?
They're drawn on the surface of the lithography stone.
Okay.
Very porous stone that's reusable. It was mined. The stones were mined in Germany for the purpose of lithography. So they're big blocks of limestone. And you draw with a greasy medium, which gets absorbed into the limestone. And then you roll black ink onto the stone. So there's actually no etching at all. You're just drawing on the surface.
Wow.
And then you sand off the stone and start again. So some of my stones were mined 200 years ago, and I'll never use it up.
The amount of detail in this is really wonderful. It's incredible. I'm sorry I missed. I know you were speaking a couple weeks ago at the 9W monthly event, and you were a featured artist. I was really disappointed I couldn't make it. I was out of town. I heard it was pretty wonderful.
Thank you. So in this particular one is a stream about a quarter of a mile from my house, which I've done many times. It runs into the Schoharie Reservoir, so it's part of the New York City watershed. And I grew up drinking that water, so I was receiving that water, and now I live at the source. So I find it really interesting to spend a lot of time there drawing it, and the volume of water changes right now it's full. When I drew this was in June, and it was almost empty. And it's flowing enough to actually go in. And then over time, I'll get low again. So.
And that's a whole new one, or a whole nother image when it gets full.
Yes, that's right. That's actually true.
These are fantastic. I'm really pleased to have them in the show. I mean, they're perfect for them. Always a pleasure to have your work. Congratulations on the recent sales too. You've been on a roll, so hopefully these will do just as well. This bird piece is just really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Two photographs by Doug Smith. Doug is an artist in New Jersey. I know of Doug's work from being in New Jersey, and I believe from a mutual friend, Ellen Martin. So these are photographs. This is the first one is called The Pull. This is called The Pull. And then the second piece is called Shorelines. These were taking, the Shorelines was taken with a low ISO. It's a soft focus, and it was in process in a digital darkroom. So this is a quote by Doug. Without a shadow, you do not exist. Whether it be living or inanimate, there is a stillness, a voice waiting to be heard. Learning the art of stillness, you become aware of objects that speak from experiences of their stationary life and subject to any action by inanimate living things. By weaving their voices along with my memories, myths, and expression, I interpret the ordinary for us to view for deeper understanding of the physical and/or psychological relationship to a given space. We have another Smith photographer. This is John T. Smith. John lives here in Saugerties. This piece is called Rosé in France. It was captured there, a small town next to de Gaulle Airport. The colors weren't exciting, but the scene had elements he loved in a photograph, including mirror images and a strong graphic presence. Good to see you, Bill. Sure. Take care. The second piece, this is from the Whitney Brewer, which I believe is down. No, you can move it. So this too is a photograph. Marjorie Sopkin. Marjorie's lives in Guilford, Connecticut. Marjorie's another artist that I'm not too familiar with, but really happy to have her at the gallery. This is called Halfway Home. It's modeling paste and acrylic on canvas. It's a small piece, 12 by 12. She started painting in full-time in 2010. Oh, we did Judy already. Okay. And then our last two pieces are by Mark Webster. Mark is an artist here in Saugerties, an abstract artist. These both pieces are prints of a graphite original. These are Geta prints. The first one is called Original, so this is a print of an original, and then this one is called Print, so this is a print of a print. 8 by 10, and the only instrument used in creating these images was a number 2 pencil and Mark's weakening eyesight. Okay, so that is our black and white show. I'm never disappointed, and I was really pleasantly surprised this time around to see work by so many artists who I associate with color, not using color. A lot of artists use this as a challenge, and I'm always so grateful that people use my prompts out there as a way to challenge themselves. So if you want to challenge yourself, if you're not a collage artist, pick up a pair of scissors, or maybe digital collage works too. And challenge yourself to, put a little collage element in your paintings, or maybe transform your photograph into some collage. Or if you're a collage artist, just send them out. The collage show is one of my favorite shows of the year, and I'm really looking forward to hosting it, to curating it, and especially to hanging it. So that's coming up in September. I'm also going to be sending out this week a call for art for the next virtual show on Artsy. This is called Something Blue. It's a show that I usually do every year. My favorite color is blue, and for every show I have to stop myself from bringing in too much blue. So a couple years ago I decided let's just do a blue show, and I really love the way it looked. And then really the way that artists are working with blue, and I never realized how many shades of blue there are. So that's going to be coming out as well. Have a look at the Artsy site. It's artsy.net. Look for Emerge Gallery NY. You'll see lots of goodies there. If you have some time that you just want to spend looking at art, you can literally look through the last 4 years of the shows that I've had here with the gallery. I do a lot of online exclusives as well, so those are archived too. If you're in Saugerties, come on by and check out this really fantastic show by Veronica Lawler, Material Memory. We also produced 14 little videos of Veronica talking about the work. Those are posted on the gallery YouTube channel, where you can also see archived artist discussions and virtual tours from the group shows in the past. And I want to say that these virtual tours started during COVID, where I was looking for an opportunity, since we couldn't do any openings, to really still engage with the artists, let the artists talk to the public, and people really enjoy them, so they've stuck around and they've become a regular part of my hosting shows. So thank you to everyone who joined us for the show today, and have a look online in black and white. It's a really spectacular show. I'm never disappointed, and I was really, like I said, pleasantly surprised this time around to see how a lot of artists I work with no longer or how they worked with the absence of color. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to more of these and to the next show. If you're around next Saturday, come on over to the gallery. I am hosting an artist talk with Veronica Lawler, who's going to talk about her whole process. We're going to be bringing in Andy Van Poel, who is a brick collector and knows a lot about the brickyards in the area, and was very instrumental in helping Veronica explore the brickyards in the area. So if you're in town, come on by. We'll probably go live with that too, and then that'll be archived on the page, on the gallery YouTube page too. So okay, you're all I'm sure tired of hearing me talk, so I'm gonna go. It's just about time to wrap things up, take a little breather, and close up for the day. All right, folks.
Thank
Take care,
you.
everyone. See you all soon.
Yeah.